It was beautiful from the air, but the morning fog prevented us from landing in Florence. So we were detoured to Bologna, and from the air we could see the road that we would take to Florence.
So take your pictures if you'd like, looking down. And I just wanted to introduce a little of the paintings in here. These are the greatest collection of self-portraits of artists in the world. She was Tintoretto's daughter. You've heard of Tintoretto, was a great painter. He's right here. That's her dad. And I like this painting because she's shown here not holding a paintbrush, but instead holding the musical notes and the little spinet, because that was considered acceptable. The Germans liked it. There was a German general who liked the bridge, and when Hitler came to Florence in, 1934, that's when these windows were enlarged. Have you noticed that the other windows are just little round ones? Yeah. They were all like that at one time, but these get enlarged so that Hitler would have had a good view. down the river. Now that really backfired on the Germans because during those dark days of the war, the Florentines were using the Vasari corridor to get communications back and forth. So they should have blown it up, but they didn't. Anyway, they blew up the bridges in August, which was actually really ridiculous because the Allies just waded over the Arno River anyway. It was so low in August. They blew up everything before and after the bridge, the Ponte Vecchio. I shouldn't say the word blew up, I should say bombarded. Because in the end, in the late 40s and 50s, the Florentines went into the river and pulled all the original stones out and rebuilt the bridge. Although between you and me, how much of that bridge belongs to the other bridge, and we don't know. But in any case, those bridges are original, but they've been reconstructed after World War II. Brancacci Chapel, and in there is some of the most amazing frescoes by Masaccio and Masolino. All right, let me give you the history of the chapel first, and then we'll take a careful look at the individual figures. Allora, this was commissioned by a family named Brancacci, Filippo Brancacci, in 1427. And the Brancacci Chapel, they were, movers and shakers in this part of the city.
In the afternoon, we moved from Renaissance art to a fading antique art form. We got a lesson in metalsmithing from Giuliano Ricci.
That beautiful pattern.
Prendiamo un pezzetto di metallo, lo mettiamo qui. Flowers.
A short walk brought us to Giannini's shop. There we learned about the craft of marbleized paper.
I colori che si vanno a mettere.
Where the colors can float. So that's what makes the colors float on top, is the fact that it's viscous.
And these colors are powdered? I can't tell.
These, he lays the
On the
page on
surface.
top of it.
E il foglio absorb the design of the water. And we repeat again the process. But at the time, we do in this way, we
So it
take
takes all the
off
color. Oh.
the glue. Extra.
Usually the word mysterious is used as an adjective with the Etruscans. Mysterious because we're not sure where they came from. They may have come from Lydia, which is in Turkey today, near Troy. They may be Phoenician in origin, or they might be indigenous people that were always in Italy. That's the theory that holds most today, that they were like the Sabines or the Umbri or the Latins, and they developed a little bit more quickly, and they developed so quickly that by 600, this whole territory is run by the Etruscans.
you have to use it to go through and to get out from the gate at the end into nature. And it is the beginning of parks. The Baroque is so important in gardens because it is a total change in mentality, total change in decoration, and also in use, and the fact that finally also nature, the hills, the woods, the fields, the rivers are used for the purpose of pleasure, not just for agricultural or hunting purpose, but also for the pleasure, aesthetically speaking, and also existence as quality of life. The park. Everything starts in Florence. You know, the gardens, the beginning of the idea of gardens starts here at the end of 1300. And it is because there were very, very important botanists, and the Medici, as well as the other grand families, they wanted to surround their country houses with something lovely outside, not just a plain space where the cart, the donkeys,
Anytime you look at a map and you see that checkerboard in the center, you can tell that it's a Roman town. All right, so what happens? Remember, 405 Florence falls, and it falls to a group of peoples called barbarians. It was the Radagazio, the Goth that came down, and everybody will get out of town. All right, by 1000, the cities are merging again, and we know that from yesterday's lesson when the baptistry is built. And Matilda of Canossa, she pays for new city walls. And the city walls will incorporate the old Roman walls inside. You can see the walls, see? Or you can trace them. Okay? Then another set of walls gets set up over there, so we incorporate them in. And then finally you'll get a fourth set of city walls, which are out here, that you don't see on this map. My point is that by about 1000, Florence is coming out of the Middle Ages. And as we remember, by the end of the 13th century, we got the cathedral being built, Santa Maria Novella, Santa Croce, Town Hall, the bridge by 1334, okay? And everybody's trying to get back into town, and look what they do. They build as close to the old walls as possible, willy-nilly, willy-nilly. So you can tell this is Roman, and this is medieval. Va bene? Everybody, 1330, Palace, Palazzo d'Avanzati, originally called the Palazzo Davizi. And already you can tell that Florence is a safer town. How do I know that?
wider doors.
Bigger doors, that obvious. The big doors show us that it's safer.
Just north of the city center, we visited an old fortress that now serves as Italy's state-run art restoration lab. There we saw work in progress on Leonardo da Vinci's unfinished Adoration of the Magi.
My pleasure to present to you this private space by the Medici family, for the Medici family. This is called the Chapel of the Medici, and it's a private chapel within their own palace, which is unheard of.
Outside, a different kind of procession. This one to protest Italian government austerity.
Se ci metterà il futuro, noi blocchiamo la città.